is that we get one of those impression copings. We call them an open tray impression copings. And why is it open tray? You guys are gonna see right now what kind of trays do you use. So I got a mix of everything that we use just for you to see it. So the impression coping is technically a long pin with something that looks like a cylinder on top of it. And the main goal is we need this to be inside the impression, because that will replicate where the position of the implant is. And it's
The
actually
bottom
really
part?
easy. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's actually easy. You can actually put it with your hands. But when you're putting it with your hands, make sure you just tighten it just to here. Not a lot, because later on you're gonna be loosening it in order for you to get your impression out. So just to here, just to make sure that it's seated. And what you've seen Mina do in the video, and I'm gonna send the video in the WhatsApp group, is that she does this to make sure that the tissues are far away from the implant. During the surgery, sometimes some of this tissue that are flabby could go under this and prevents the full seating of this cylinder. We want it to be titanium on titanium. We don't want any soft tissue in between. So we do it with your hands, make sure that everything is clear from the tissue, and then you could tighten it a little bit more. All right? And we're gonna do this with every single one as you are placing those cylinders. Same thing in here. I'll tighten like this. I'll make sure everything is good. I'm not seeing any tissue. And then I could tighten by my hands, or I could just do it here with just a hair. I'm not even pushing, just to make sure that it's seated. Same thing with every case, every implant. Normally we have 5 implants on the top or 6 implants on the top and about 4 implants on the bottom. And that is more than enough to hold a strong prosthetic. All right. And then we tighten lightly and tighten lightly. Okay, a little bit of terminology test. What are these things called?
Impression coping.
Impression copings, right? Because we take impressions with them, and it's a coping because it's part of the system that would replicate what the implants look like outside of the patient's mouth. All right, so it's called an impression coping. Calling it an open tray because there's something called an open tray and something called closed tray. You don't need to know a lot about it, but technically these pins will be coming out from these impressions in order for you to unscrew it and get the impression out. If these pins you cannot see after you put the impression, that's a problem, because you need to